Welcome to Career Tipper Podcast, hosted by Michelle Beatty. The Career Tipper Podcast is a motivational resource that shares career and entrepreneurial tips by industry experts that will help amazing people evolve to their professional best. And now your host, Michelle Beatty.
Episode 35 of the Career Tipper Podcast features Renita J. Hunt. Renita is the empowerment blogger for Socialnita. She has had a vast marketing communications career that includes working with a variety of brands. She is extremely passionate about giving back, women empowerment, and diversity and inclusion. Renita is a part of many professional and civic boards in the Central Florida area. During this episode, she is going to share how giving back is career development. I'm your host, Michelle Beatty, professional development author and coach. Renita, welcome to the Career Tipper Podcast.
Hello. Coming to you live from sunny Orlando. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's jump into this interview because I totally agree that giving back can be a game changer for anyone in their career. And I'm really excited about you sharing some insight and tips to get people to think maybe a different way about it. But before we get into that, what has been your journey to becoming an influencer that advocates that giving back is career development?
Absolutely. I had a very robust career in marketing communications, and I relocated here to Florida from Atlanta, and I had the time to give back. I always said, I want to give back, but I never had the time because I was a workaholic. And so I took that time and I said, let me start with an organization that I'm already giving clothes to, and that was how I found Dress for Success. Thought I would come in and dress ladies, kind of use my passion for fashion one day a week. The first day I went, I fell in love. And it started as one day a week, then it became 2 days a week. Then I started giving advice on different business strategies and marketing strategies. And one day, one of the board members said, I'd like to invite you to a board meeting. Went to the board meeting. And I said, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I want to do. Well, my whole life on my career goal path was when I turn 65, I am going to join a nonprofit board. Let me tell you, I am not 65. I'm not even 50. But I had the opportunity to join the board, and I jumped at the opportunity, and I've not looked back. I've held several positions in the organization, everything from events director to vice president, and now I've been president for the past 4 years. And it has truly been a journey that has not only given back to the women of Central Florida, but it's given so much to me. It helped me open and flourish a lot of gifts I didn't even know I had.
I love it. And what are some of those gifts that you have been revealed to you?
Absolutely. One is being a public speaker. If you believe it or not, 6 years ago, working in marketing communications, when I had to present to small groups of people, I would get these knots in my stomach and I would have to rehearse all night long. And I would just be a terror about public speaking. But when I started with Dress for Success and the need for public speaking came about, each time it just was like a layer of fear was being peeled off of me, to now I have had the opportunity to address audience as much as 2,500 people on the topic of women empowerment. And I'm just so, I can't even believe how far I've come in that journey. So definitely the gift of speaking and empowering women.
I love it. Now, how does giving back expand your professional network and assist you with bonding with colleagues? Because, like you said, you've been doing this for over 4 years now.
Yes.
So it's like you probably have a whole nother family within your with working with the organization. But what do you want other professionals to keep in mind as they expand their professional network through giving back?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think one of the keys is that we always hear, I've got a network, I've got to expand my network. So what do? You go to a mixer for the industry that you're in, and you meet more people in the industry that you're in. That's great. But if you want to make real change and real movement in your life, in your career, in your community, you've got to go know people in other categories. And that's what giving back does. I sit on the board and I look around and I have leaders in banking, leaders in university, leaders in all these different sectors that are not the sector that I work my day job in. And so I feel so grateful that I can call on these ladies and say, "Hey, I've got this problem. Can you help me work through this or think about this differently?" That I'm able to pick up the phone or shoot an email and get that type of advice. I think also the different levels. When we're working in our career, we are used to moving at the level that we are at. Nonprofit world gives you the opportunity that you could be a mid-level manager or even an entry-level employee. But from a nonprofit standpoint, you might be on the board and have to talk to other VPs and C-suite individuals of corporations. And so it definitely up levels and expands your network.
I love it. Now, the exposure to something new is always game changing, which you're sharing along the way through this interview. Now, how can volunteering influence new career ideas? Like we got the networking down, but how can it
Mhm.
get everything percolating with new like career ideas?
Yes, I always say volunteering is a safe place to learn. You could be in finance and say, I want to get into this social media game, but I'm never able to, I don't know how to start my page. And my day job doesn't afford me to kind of test any of these theories that I have. I'm sure every nonprofit across the country, even the globe, would be happy for you to come and to develop some posts or even present your idea and see how it can work in that area. Then you start to work on projects, then you start to have a case study and have something that you can concrete talk about of a project that you worked on in that actual industry or category that you might not be working on in your day job. So it is totally phenomenal in career developing and learning.
I love it. Now, Renita, please connect the dots on how giving back helps develop and boost career confidence.
Oh my goodness. It helps you to just go to the next level because in the day to day hustle and bustle, we all have our to do list that we're checking off and we're like, I'm trying to get this done by 5. um, and it doesn't give us the time to kind of work on passions or grow and develop the way we want to. All corporations and organizations have great um, development planning or career planning for you. But sometimes some of those activities that have been outlined for you to do to go to the next level, there's just not time in the day. So, how do I do that? I go to a nonprofit organization and say, hey, I like to work on a big budget planning, a year budget planning, and kind of work this out for you. Are you open to that? And then you have that project to come back around and talk about when you have your yearly professional development meeting. You can say, guess what? I was working with Dress for Success or Habitat for Humanity on this big project, and I was over a $500,000 budget. And it was a grant that we got from the state. And this is how we used the money. And this is how I managed each of those categories to a T. So it really gives you the confidence to go back and own that you know now how to effectively do a budget for an event.
Great share. Love it, love it. How can volunteering expand a novice or seasoned professional's industry knowledge base and fill in the resume blanks? Because I know, like you kind of touched upon it just now with career confidence, and you gave a great example of like budgeting, but what else can they do?
Absolutely. I'll talk about two of the groups that I work very closely with. One is women getting out of college, our interns, our ladies who need to gain experience. Whatever industry that you're going into, just start volunteering. Sometimes you'll be able to get an internship and get a paid internship, and that is great. And sometimes you'll need to add to that paid internship opportunity. I always say you can never have enough internship opportunities. And sometimes volunteering internship opportunities give you more responsibility and more hands-on experience in what you need to learn. So you can definitely, I have an intern yesterday who just sent me a text and said, I'm so happy that I was able to work with you for the last 2 years. I just got a brand new job and I wouldn't have been able to do that without your mentorship. And she came to me as a semester intern and ended up staying for 2 years. She would just come back and say, what else you have for me? What else you have for me? And she was just letting me know that my friends who graduated with me are saying, you are at another level from us, from all the experience that you have gained. So it's very valuable. I think not only the internship aspect, but the mentorship aspect. That, like I was saying, that young lady came to me, and not only did she get her internship, but she got a mentor as well. The other group that I'll speak about is people getting back into the workforce. It's so powerful now that we will all have more than one career in our lifetime. And so, working through Dress for Success, we have a partnership with AARP. And so, we have tremendous individuals who were doing one career for 20 plus years or were at home for a while and said, I've got to get back in the workforce, but I don't know anything past Windows 98. How do I learn that? They're always saying, I need to learn this. And I took the class, but I didn't have any way to practically apply what I learned in that class. How can I do that? Okay, come in. Once a week, you can input data for me into a spreadsheet for Dress for Success. That's giving back once a week doing that.
I love it. I love and there's so many organizations that are offering that. Like I know Goodwill Industries, they offer that. Dress for
Mm-hmm.
Success offers that. And I really love that it's continuing to the footprint of that specific workforce effort is continuing to expand because it is so helpful to the community, to the economy.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Renita, you volunteer with Dress for Success Greater Orlando, so please share how giving back can improve your professional image.
Oh, absolutely. You know, one of the buzzwords in the industry right now is personal branding. If you don't have a personal brand and you're working in today's world, you are discrediting yourself. And so I think that volunteering does that. It gives you more feathers in your hat. It gives you more things that you can say, I've done. It expands your network. So when you're on social media and you're doing things, you're growing your network. It also gives you the ability to go to different conferences and be seen in a different light that you might be in on a day to day basis. So it definitely helps to improve your image. Anything with helping people, I think we initially think, oh, I'm going to help this person, and that's really going to help them to go forth and be a better human being. But I tell you, it gives back to the giver threefold, threefold, and you can't deny that. And once you have done that, your spirit and how you feel about yourself just up levels how you're going to carry yourself, how you're going to interact in different circles as well.
Fantastic. Now, what mindset should professionals keep in mind when building goodwill in the community?
Absolutely. I think it's always an open mind. Sometimes when we're used to working in our corporate environments, we're used to having things a certain way, and in nonprofit and volunteering, it's not always that way. So coming in with the open mind and open heart, and that you just want to give, don't come to the platform with an agenda. Although it will give back to you threefold once you give of yourself, be cognizant of not coming in and saying, oh, well, I'm going to use this to promote my business or try to promote something that I'm trying to do. Go and really give of your talents. And once you do that, all of the rest of that will shake out and happen for you. I've seen people get job offers from volunteering. I've seen people up level just their influence and their name in the community, and also just really find what their purpose and passion. And so it's just totally changed how they felt about themselves and how they felt about life in general. And so just going with an open heart.
Fabulous, fabulous. Now, what type of valuable references can professionals gain by giving back? Because I know you touched upon it with like the job, getting job offers and things of that
Mhm.
nature, but sometimes it could be lifestyle, or can you just expand upon that a little?
Absolutely. I think amount, the different types of circles of people that you would never be able to engage with in your normal life is so invaluable. I know $1 million realtor just from volunteering, and I don't have $1 million today, but when I get $1 million, I know who to call. I also know who to call when I have to do a fundraiser. And although she might not write me a check, she knows the people who can write me a check. And so those type of references and relationships that you build from volunteering is invaluable. From volunteering, it's different than networking because people actually get to see you at work. It's not just saying, "Oh, well, I'm good at this and I'm an expert in that." They actually have seen you work um, with a spirit of excellence for no pay. And so when the opportunity comes for pay or for to recommend somebody or also to support an organization or event that you're working with, they will look to you and say, you know what, I'm going to go with her because I know what her work ethic is about. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that I can trust her. So it really helps to build your credibility. Um, Also, you're able to call upon CEOs and presidents of different organizations that, again, you wouldn't just might not be in your typical professional circle. And so that is very invaluable to you.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, volunteermatch.org, serve.gov, volunteer.gov, and idealist.org are great resources that people use to find volunteer opportunities. But what other giving back resources do you suggest that the listeners should check out?
Absolutely. I think one that is a miss is a job searching platform, which is Indeed.com. It's a job board, but you can actually type in volunteer opportunities in your city and it'll pull up a plethora of them. I think the United Way database in every city, they have a job board of open opportunities and they list these opportunities just like a job. I think sometimes the mindset is because it's volunteering, I'm just picking up trash and helping people do more domestic activities, which are great and are needed in some organizations, but there are a plethora of professional opportunities, everything from general admin work all the way to being a leader on a board. And everything in between. So, yearly planning, budgeting, all of those skill sets are needed at the nonprofit level. And if you're technology and digital, oh, yes. I think I can speak for all nonprofits around the country. We need you.
Okay, listeners, go start Google searching all these organizations and see how you can start giving back and expanding your skill set a bit. So that was awesome. Thank you. Now, please share a quote or affirmation that keeps you creating career tipper moments. That's our signature ending to every episode.
Awesome. To move forward, you have to give back. And that is from Auntie O, Oprah Winfrey.
Cheers. Cheers to that one. And Renita, please tell the listeners how they can get in touch with you. Because you do a lot of things. Like before you tell them how to get in touch with you, tell them a little bit more about Socialnita, because you are out there. You are giving back. You are hosting. You are planning. Yes, it's through Dress for Success, but you do other stuff too. So please toot your horn a bit right now. So listeners really know what they can get when they contact you, because you are a wealth of information and you are very passionate about your community.
Absolutely. I am a motivational speaker, and so I do host and MC and present at workshops and panels across the country. I love to do that. My topic categories are giving back, women empowerment, and marketing communications. So I really love to do that. My day job and my experience professionally has been in digital marketing. So I have opportunities that I do there. And then I have my blog I run, Socialnita, and I'm everywhere. And so I'm always constantly taking pictures and documenting what I'm doing, whether it's for myself or my clients. So definitely join the conversation. I love to connect with people across the country. You can really find a lot of my professional tips of the trade, because I do come from a talent acquisition digital marketing background. So you can contact me at Renita J. Hunt on LinkedIn. And you can always follow me at Socialnita on Facebook and Instagram. And then, of course, socialnita.com. And that's social, Nita, Nita.com. I actually took, because I was a social butterfly and my name is Renita, kind of combined those two. So that's how we got Socialnita.
So chic and savvy. Love it, love it, love it. And you can find me, Michelle Beatty, at careertipper.com and on Instagram and Facebook at careertipper and on Twitter at careertipper1. Please subscribe and follow the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio. If you enjoyed this episode today or any other episode of the Career Tipper podcast, please leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Listeners, thanks so much for joining us, and remember to be confidently you.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Career Tipper Podcast. We're grateful for our listeners and guests. For more resources about how to evolve to your professional best, share your comments and feedback about this episode and your suggestions for future guests, visit careertipper.com. Until next time, be confidently you.